Hi everybody. So today I'm going to play with some of my favorite spray inks. I've got a set of Distress Oxide that are kind of fun, and I have a set of different colors of walnut ink. And any kind of ink you've got, if you don't have any spray ink, you can usually buy the little spray bottles, little plastic empty spray bottles, and you could put, cheap India ink in a little spray bottle. So this is a messy, messy one. So be forewarned. You might want to wear gloves if that's your thing. The spray inks tend to, go off of my work surface onto anything that's in the area. So the easiest thing, obviously, is to use a stencil. And so I've got this fun little heart stencil, and I'm just going to use some walnut ink. This is Cherry Blossom color, and I can do it really fairly lightly, and the stencil is going to kind of act as a mask. So that's kind of fun, and cut that up and use that as collage papers could be a really fun little thing. Let's try some other options. Got some other little stencils here, and maybe go a little heavier with the color. I like these. These are the Distress Oxide, and they're kind of opaque. So that gives you a really nice look at the stencil. Your edges might be a little blurred, smeary. I think that just makes it all the more fun. Another thing that you can maybe find in your stencil goodies are things that are actually masks. So I've got this one that looks like an old viewfinder, and I'm going to mix up my colors a little bit on this one. Just do a little blend. Yeah, there we go. And you might want to let it dry a little bit. The ink does pool up on your stencil, so if I touch that stencil, I'm going to get ink all over myself. So I'm going to pull that up. I'm going to put this on a paper towel, get that ink off, because it really takes forever to dry on a stencil. So that's with the viewfinder shaped mask and a few different colors. You'll find the ink is going on the paper fairly light, and so they will dry pretty quickly. We can create masks with other things if you've got any objects that are fun shapes. I've got this set of little metal gears, so I'm just going to arrange them on a paper. Anything that lays flat should work for you. Let's see. This is a Distress Oxide. Do a little bit of that and a little bit of the blue. And what I'm doing is I'm making some unique papers for collage. What I'm going to do with this one, instead of trying to pick all those up, is I'm just going to dump them off, and see, they work really nicely as a mask with that spray ink. And let's see, a couple other things we can do. And get some different paper here. This is kind of fun. How about just taking some popsicle sticks and creating my own little pattern for masking with the lilac. Ooh, sometimes it's going to come out a little heavy. You might want to do a test spray if you're not sure how your ink's coming out. This one I probably need to clear the nozzle, but I think with those dark and light variations, that's going to make a fun kind of design on that paper. So I'm going to let that soak into the paper just a little bit. Maybe try to carefully lift my popsicle sticks out. There we go. These are going to be some fun little collage papers. You can see how wet that one is. So I'm going to set that aside so it doesn't. And let's see, I've got an envelope here. These are kind of fun. Old clothespins. Let me see. See if how this one's working. Yeah, this one's just about out. The Distress Oxide, you do want to shake them up. I'm going to just test that. Okay, that's good. And like I said, these Distress Oxide are a little opaque. That didn't give me a real clear image, but I like the ink look just like that as well. Let me see here. There's another envelope. Just going to blend some colors here. This is really kind of a fun way just to, add color to some plain looking pages. You can see the ink drops blending, so I'll let that dry a little bit as well. Also, we could take something like, this is dress pattern tissue, and let me cut off a chunk of this. I don't want to set it down on my table because I do have ink all over my table right now. Just tear a chunk. It's pretty much dried. I've got craft paper down underneath my work surface today. So here's a piece of tissue pattern paper. And I'm going to go with the walnut inks because those are kind of transparent. And then I'm just gonna let that dry. It soaks right on through. All right, let that dry. And now I think I've got some fun papers that I'm going to go ahead and start making a collage with. Actually, going to just set down a piece of paper towel so it doesn't soak into my paper as well. Again, I'm working on a 5.5 inch by 5.5 inch piece of 140-pound cold press watercolor paper. And I'm just going to use a glue stick and tear and glue down some of these really fun papers. I think I am going to turn off the camera for a minute, let these dry completely. That's going to give me a better shot at good results. So I will be back in just a minute. Okay, so my inks are pretty dry, and so I'm going to start putting a little collage together using some of these papers. Looks pretty cool on the back side, some of it as well. We're picking up ink from previous times. I really like that. Something like that, maybe. I think something like that. So I'm going to glue that down. We'll do a speed through, and that will be our little experiment with spray ink using both walnut ink and this Distress Oxide, which, remember, that one's a little more opaque. All right, here's a speed through.